Problem, LeetCode problem 437, path sum the third. Given the root of a binary tree and integer target sum, return the number of paths where the sum of the values along the path equals the target sum. The path does not need to start or end at the root or leaf, but it must go downwards, i.e. traveling only from parent nodes to child nodes. Okay, so we're gonna have our tree, and then we're gonna have a number, and we're trying to go down, find a path that the sums of the nodes we encounter equal our target sum. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we have 10, 5, -3, 3, 2, 11, 3, -2, 1, and then our target sum is 8. So on the right side we see this is circled, and that's because 11 plus -3 is 8. Here too we have the blue circled. 5, 3 is 8. So that this one encounters the path does not need to start or end at the root or a leaf, but it just needs to go down. And this is 5, 2, and 1, which is 8. Then what we'll return the number, how many different ways we got there. So this would be 3. So output 3, the paths that sum to 8 are shown. Okay, we have this one, but it's not graphical. All right, so we can start. So a path can start at any node. It just needs to go down to like the children. Doesn't need to start at the top. And then we need to count how many times we did this. And they can all be different sizes. We have a 2, we have a 3. Okay, can we do like a single node? So if it's 3, no, it doesn't seem like that works. No, the target sum was 8. Okay, my bad. Okay, so 8. If we had an 8 node, I'm sure that would work too. Okay. So how do we do this? We can use a stack. We can use a stack. And then some counter, a counter of some kind. So let's do, we can start with a stack, or we can start with a counter or a count. So we'll use this to count how many paths there actually is. And then we can do var stack. And this will be of node and array of values, maybe. So we need the node, and then we need our path. Okay, so let's just do this. And then, so we'll need our node, which will be a tree node. And then we will need the path, which should be integers. It'll be a group of numbers. And this will be, our tree node will be our root that we're passing in here. And then we will just pass in an empty array. Okay, so we have our node, our root, and then our path, which is the numbers that we want to collect. We have it here. Are we opening and closing correctly? Okay, it looks good so far. So we have what we'll count and what we're storing. We did this in a different question where we were removing the last from the stack. So what we want to do is we want to loop through our stack while it is not empty. Empty y. We can do this. Our stack is not empty. What we want to do is get the current node. We want to get the current node. So that would be our How are we gonna get the current node? I think we can do node and path equals stack. Remove last, I believe. Remove last. Okay, so this will let us get our current node and its path from our stack. Then we want to make a new path including our current node, and then we want to check our sums as well. At some point we want to check the sums. We need to get the value of our node. Okay, so let's make a new variable. What do we call it? I do current path. I set that to path. Right? So we have our current path set it to path, and then we want to, while we're looping, we want to append to our current path, and then we want to append the node's value. So we can do current path append node.val. What is it? Node.val. Okay, node.val. Okay. So this creates a new path, and then we're gonna use our current node to create a new path, and then we need to add. We need to add back to our for loops, so we can do var sum equals 0, and then we can do for I in current path. Current path dot count. We need to do this for I in current path, and then do this. Let's put this like this. For I in current path, what do we want to do? We want to add. So we're going to do sum plus equals current path, and we're going to use the index current path like this. And then we're gonna say if our sum equals our target sum, then we know that's a valid path, so that we can increase our count. So we can do if sum equals our target sum, we increase the count. Okay, so if sum equals our target sum, then what we just want to do is count plus 1. Okay. So we're going through the path, and then we're calculating all of the nodes. If it equals our target sum, then we add 1. So that is what we're gonna do. Okay. That increases the count. Okay. We need to so we go through this, my current path. We need to get these two. That's what we're going to use to append to our stack. Our stack is empty right now. So what do we do? Let's try this. Side of our thing equals node right. Let's do stack append. Do our right side, and then we'll do our current path. And then we can do the same for here. And then we need to return our count. So let's look at where the ending bracket is. Because our count is what we need. Okay. This is definitely a rough draft. Cannot convert value of type to expect type and solution. Cannot convert to expect and the solution. Okay. That's because it's optional. So let's do this. Let's see if that helps. So we're getting that because it's an optional. Root is cannot find current path. Okay, can't spell. We expect at least one of these every time. Again, wrong answer. So we're getting 2 for this. We're getting 0 for this. Okay, let's do reverse. Let's start it from the bottom. burst overloads produce that conforms to sequence in. Okay, that's because it's a method. And voila. So it passes all these test cases. Okay. So let me try and get all of this on the screen. And then we submit. Passes all of them. 3 milliseconds, 72%. Okay. So that was LeetCode problem 437, path sum the third.